Okay, we're here in the office. Today we've just completed Dr. Basu, Dr. Shamik Basu has just completed, Basu has just completed his training here in body sculpting. He came from London, England. I'll let him tell you how he selected this course and how the course was challenging to him, as it can be for a lot of people. So Doc, in your own words, tell us about yourself, where you came from, why you got to us, who referred you here for your training.
I work as a dermatologist in London, England, and I wanted to get some training in liposuction. And I spoke to a few of the liposuction surgeons who are not plastic surgeons in England, and one of them had been trained by Jeffrey Klein. So when I rang up Jeffrey Klein's office, I spoke to his secretary, and they said that, well, Dr. Klein doesn't do any training anymore, but have you heard of Dr. Reynolds, Dwight Reynolds in Florida? And I said that no, I hadn't. And so they said, well, we look him up because he's well known and he does good training. So I looked up the doc, and then I gave him a ring, and we started to speak, and that's how the whole thing came about.
Right. Mm-hmm. So in terms of your training, once you got here, first of all, how long did it take you to fly?
It was an 8-hour, 45 minutes, almost a 9-hour flight.
And that was from Heathrow?
That's from London Heathrow, yes.
So tell us about it. You had some intense training. You was one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
I like get doctors one-on-one because I learned so much from the doctors. I learned too, mm-hmm. Right? But also, I tell one doctor was one-on-one. Yes, it's more expensive, but again, you saw you had 4 patients. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of work for you to do. Mm-hmm. You went through the process together. Mm-hmm. Tell them about that part of the experience.
So I had very little prior experience in liposuction, and I needed to learn the basics. So for me, it was a steep learning curve. Dr. Reynolds sat down with me, and we went through everything about the tumescent infiltration composition, exactly, how much to put in, and, the different amounts of lidocaine, epinephrine, sodium bicarbonate, and the doc, basically obviously also puts in some kinolog. So we went through all of that, and then we had our first case, and it was, for me, it was, definitely a steep learning curve. Basically, I felt like I was chucked into the deep end. I was also exhausted and jet lagged by the time we started the first case, because we had our didactic teaching that day for most of the day, and we started the first case, I think about 6 p.m. By the time the patient was prepped and ready, and it was a 360-degree body sculpting, basically of the abdomen.
360, I always tell people 360 is just, I call it a cultural thing to say 360. Mm-hmm. 360 is just simply upper and lower abs, waist, hip, mid, and lower back. Yeah. That's 360 lipo, but go ahead.
That's 360 lipo. And so, yes, basically by the time we started that, I was exhausted, but actually I would say that it went quite well.
You did your best. That was your best day.
Yeah.
That was your best day.
Basically I picked things up, and I thought that the patient actually would be quite difficult. She was 67 years old. She was diabetic. 67.
67, okay.
Yeah, 67 years old. She was a diabetic, and she had what we in the UK call a fat apron. The doc has a different term for it.
We call it either paniculus or panis.
Yeah, mm-hmm. A panis. But I got into the groove of it, helped by the doc, of course. And, basically, it actually went quite well. I think I was running on pure adrenaline, but, basically, it just went by very quickly, actually. The first case, when I look back upon it, it's mostly a blur, the first case was. Basically, it went by very fast. What I do remember is holding the probes. The first time the doc, gave me the infiltration probe, and he said, "You're moving, fanning, staying on plane.
Not cutting you off, but how about the lady that you did on day one? You saw her the next day.
Yes.
How were they? Were they pleased with their results? I mean, her husband came with her too.
They were very pleased with the results. We got about 1425 cc's out of her, and she wasn't a big lady. She, she did have some curves, but she wasn't a big lady by any means. I forget her exact body weight now.
142 pounds.
142 pounds, so about 70 kilos. Okay, so she wasn't that big at all. So we did get, basically a nice volume out of her. And after we did that case, we sat down and prepared some of the tumescent fluid bags for the next day. By the end of that evening, I was absolutely starving. So the dog very kindly drove me to basically Wendy's restaurant, and basically I went back to my hotel room. I didn't get much sleep that night, and that's why the second day.
Okay, so we started right around, I guess, around 9 o'clock. We finished up around 11:45 that night.
12, yeah.
The next day, that's pretty common here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So by the time, I'll be honest with you, I'm not used to working like that. We don't really operate in the evenings. In the UK.
As they say in French, "Je suis désolé." I'm sorry to hear that.
No, but also, basically, Doc saying that, I would also say that when in Rome, you do as the Romans do. So that's what I did, basically. But anyway, so I didn't really sleep that night because there's this aneme convention going on at the hotel. So, and anyway, so actually the next day I was more jet lagged and more tired. I had like about 3 hours of sleep, and we did 2 cases that day. We did an arms and chin, vaser and lipo of the chin. That was absolutely fascinating. So I really enjoyed that.
In fact, you saw it the next day too. You saw it today, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And
less than 24 hours later, how did she look?
She looked really good.
Okay, so you really had a pretty intense 3-day course, oral examination. We started part of it yesterday, and we got to a point where I had to say something to you, right? Because I'd say that some people do not make it through the course, but that certainly they have an opportunity if they feel the course is worthy to come back and do that. So Dr. Basu will be coming back. He did extremely well to start out. I'd say he was extremely jet lagged. And it's always difficult for me to discuss with doctors, especially coming from afar, that you need to come back. And I tell people this all the time, and those that have trained with me, they know. Everybody takes a course of mine does not pass. It's pretty rigorous. It's an endurance course for sure. Dr. Basu was told to be sure he wears some comfortable shoes, which he did. My Hokas, I have those too, and they're very comfortable. But the bottom line of it is, guys, is that I said at the end of the day, would I let that doctor work on my wife, Christine? That's my litmus test. If the answer to that is, I'm not certain, I'm not sure, then usually those doctors do not get through the course. I've trained a bit over 1,000 doctors at this point, and occasionally there's going to be a few, of course, and certainly Dr. Basu has a lot of different reasons, explanations. The jet lag part is real. It's a 5-hour time difference. I get all that, right? But at the end of the day, I have to make sure that when he gets a certification from us here at CHP, some self-promotion, and I've been doing this now for about almost 29, almost 30 years now, I got a pretty good feel of our docs, and I'm pretty sure that he will come back. He's coming back? Mm-hmm. Okay, so he is coming back. But I can pretty much assure him it's going to be a one-on-one again, only one patient, and he's going to pretty much do the case. I'll talk him through it. But if you can't get it done then, as you say, Houston, we got a problem. I'm sure it's not going to be that Houston deal. And that was good. So I really appreciate you coming on, discussing your experience, that you work hard. You really bust your butt. That's about it. I don't know if I could have done that coming from as far as you did. And then to be told that, you didn't quite meet the mustard. No, it was not cheap by any means. But as you can see, for patients, we give them more than half off to let them that you have hands-on as my assistant. They sign off on that, and that's all cool. But at the end of the day, you have to make a decision. You're working with humans, right? So I want to know in my heart that you can do the job. It's because I can do the job, right? And you would not want to do it anyways. I'm sure of that because I know you now.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that you are at the best that you can be for not only the safety of your patients, but also for the satisfaction of your patients and yourself, right? So I'll leave it at that. And anything say in closing?
No, I'd just like to say that thank you, Doc, for this opportunity, and I look forward to working with you again.